The highly anticipated matchup between Francis Ngannou and Renan Ferreira at the Pulse Super Fights Battle of the Giants promised a clash of titanic heavyweights. On one side, Francis Ngannou, the former UFC heavyweight champion known for his devastating knockout power, stood as a towering figure of fear in the division. On the other side, Renan Ferreira, a Brazilian powerhouse with a considerable reach advantage, posed a serious threat with his technical ability and physical attributes. As the fight unfolded, the result was nothing short of a display of Ngannou's absolute dominance as he secured a first-round knockout. In under 4 minutes, round one, the fight opened with both men showing respect for each other's power, knowing that a single mistake could cost them the match. Ngannou wasted no time in setting the tone by delivering a powerful low kick that briefly knocked Ferreira out of his stance. It was clear that Ngannou wanted to establish his leg kicks early, both as a weapon to weaken Ferreira's base and to create openings for his heavy hands. Ferreira, not one to be intimidated, responded with his own low kick, knocking Ngannou off balance. The exchange of leg kicks showed that both fighters were aware of each other's capabilities and were willing to test the waters cautiously. Ferreira, in particular, seemed eager to push the pace and was the aggressor on the front foot, advancing towards Ngannou. Despite this, both fighters remained patient, calculating their moves and waiting for the right moment to land a significant blow. A brief exchange of punches ensued, but neither fighter was able to land cleanly. This was typical of heavyweight bouts, where both men were careful not to overcommit, knowing the consequences of exposing themselves to a counter from their opponent. However, Ngannou quickly shifted the dynamics of the fight by opting for a surprising takedown, catching Ferreira off guard. Ngannou's decision to shoot for a takedown showed his evolving skill set as a mixed martial artist known primarily for his knockouts. Ngannou displayed his growing proficiency in wrestling by scoring an easy takedown after ducking under a wild swing from Ferreira. With Ferreira on the ground, Ngannou immediately pushed him against the fence, looking to establish control and unleash his infamous ground and pound. Ferreira, however, was not defenseless on the mat. He attempted to stymie Ngannou's offensive progression by using a grapevine technique, locking his legs around Ngannou to prevent him from posturing up. This move momentarily halted Ngannou's ground assault, giving Ferreira some time to work on a submission. Ferreira briefly threatened with a leg triangle choke, but Ngannou was quick to recognize the danger and smoothly escaped the submission attempt. As soon as Ngannou escaped the triangle, he wasted no time advancing to half guard, where he was able to assert more control over Ferreira. With Ferreira trapped beneath him, Ngannou began to rain down heavy shots, making full use of his top position. Ferreira, now in a vulnerable position, struggled to defend himself as Ngannou transitioned to take his back, partially mounting him. This was the beginning of the end for Ferreira. Ngannou's ground and pound was relentless with his immense power. Even short punches from the top position carried devastating force. Ferreira, pinned under Ngannou's weight, had little to offer in terms of defense. The Brazilian absorbed several heavy blows before going limp, his body no longer able to respond to the onslaught. Referee called an end to the bout at 332 of the first round, declaring Ngannou the victor by knockout. The fight, though short, demonstrated the sheer dominance of Francis Ngannou and his ability to adapt his game plan from the opening exchanges. Ngannou's calculated approach was evident. Rather than rushing in with wild, aggressive punches as he has been known to do in the past, Ngannou maintained his composure, using leg kick to create openings and then opting for an unexpected take-on. This tactical adjustment showed that Ngannou had been refining his skills, adding wrestling and grappling to his already formidable striking arsenal. Ferreira, for his part, entered the bout with the right game plan, seeking to apply pressure and force Ngannou into uncomfortable situations. However, Ngannou's experience at the highest levels of competition allowed him to remain calm under pressure. When Ferreira began pressing forward, Ngannou responded with measured strikes and, crucially, the well-timed takedown that shifted the momentum decisively in his favor. Once on the ground, Ferreira's ability to defend himself was commendable at first, particularly with the use of the grapevine technique and his attempt at the triangle choke. These moments showed that Ferreira had the technical skills to potentially trouble Ngannou. However, Ngannou's strength and power, combined with his newfound grappling prowess, overwhelmed Ferreira. The ground and pound from Ngannou was devastating. Once he gained top control and began landing his shots, it was only a matter of time before Ferreira succumbed to the barrage. Ngannou punches from the ground, even in short bursts, carry enough force to incapacitate most opponents, and Ferreira was no exception. What stood out most about this performance was Ngannou's evolution as a more well-rounded mixed martial artist. In the past, Ngannou has been criticized for relying too heavily on his knockout power and lacking the technical depth needed to succeed against elite competition. However, this fight against Ferreira showed that Ngannou has been working diligently to address those perceived weaknesses. The decision to engage in grappling, score a takedown, and control Ferreira on the ground was a clear indication that Ngannou is no longer just a one-dimensional fighter. His ability to remain calm while Ferreira attempted submissions, coupled with his dominant top control, suggested that Ngannou has become a far more dangerous and versatile threat inside the cage. For Ngannou, this victory solidifies his standing as one of the most dangerous heavyweights in the world, not just for his knockout power, but for his well-rounded skill set. With this performance, Ngannou sent a message to the rest of the division that he is constantly evolving and opponents can no longer rely on the hope of out-wrestling or out-grappling him. As for Ferreira, While this loss was a significant setback, he can take solace in the fact that he managed to show flashes of technical skill and resilience. However, the fight also highlighted areas where he needs improvement, particularly in defending against powerful ground and pound and enhancing his submission game to capitalize on the few opportunities he gets in the end. This fight was another reminder of why Francis Ngannou is one of the most feared fighters in the sport at heavyweight, whose power and improving technical abilities make him a force to be reckoned with in any promotion. Music, 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 no music.